Good evening everybody, and tonight we're going to speak all about summer holidays. Now many people work the whole year round to save up for that all-important yearly trip of a lifetime, so ensuring that the holiday goes smoothly is really essential, but if we don't prepare well, it can end up being a bit of a disaster. Tonight we'll be hearing a couple of stories of things going wrong on holiday, and we'll also have travel expert here, Linsey McNeill, to give us some useful holiday advice on suitcase essentials, how to look after your skin in the sun, and the best destinations to visit at low prices. And we also have our regular fitness expert, Jane Wrafter, who'll be showing us how to shape up for our summer holidays with a workout that really works, so that you can even do on holiday too. But first of all, let's speak to our entertainment reporter, Bianca Clayton, for some news stories.
Hello, Chris.
Hello.
How you
doing?
Look
summery.
I know. I thought I want to plan for the show. Oh, that's nice. I want to wear something bright for the show.
Yeah, you always do, actually.
I do. So, Chris, have you had any bad holidays before?
Most of my holidays have been pretty good, apart from just one year when I was in Cyprus and my uncle decided to take me shooting in the mountains in Cyprus with a dog. And I stepped on this thing. I didn't know what it was, but all of a sudden I stepped on something, and all of a sudden I just saw these hornets just go whoosh like this up in the air. I stepped in a nest, a hornet's nest. And all I could hear my uncle saying was like, run!
Oh, no.
So there's me pelting down this mountain, but I got stung really badly. One of them stung me. And these things, I don't know if you've seen a hornet, they're huge. They're like this.
Oh my goodness,
and they're horrible things. And my leg was like really, really swollen. I went straight to hospital.
From all the bites?
I only got one bite, thank goodness. Well, it would be better if I didn't get any, but it was just one bite, but my leg was really, really swollen, so they gave me stuff like...
Just from that one bite?
Just from that one bite,
then.
and I actually stepped in a hole. I don't know what it was doing on the ground. I thought they normally, like, they make their nests up high normally, so I don't know what it was doing there, but I suppose it was a mountainside, so...
How old were you? Young at the time? Were you?
I was in my teens.
Yeah.
But it was scary, because I could just see my leg getting bigger and bigger.
As you were running, or like later on?
Yeah, no. I think it must have been
away.
as I was, because by the time I got to hospital, it was really, like, swollen.
Gosh,
but
that's
it was,
horrible.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing they do over there. They just take us to these dangerous places. It's my uncle's for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Anything?
Well, I was thinking about it, and I thought, I went on holiday last year to Turkey, and I just like, I think it was my first holiday properly with my boyfriend, so I was like, oh, it's going to be really nice. And I was looking online all the time, trying to find, I was like obsessed with like looking online, trying to look for bargains, trying to get like a good place but at a good price as well, and it doesn't really come up very often. So I found this really nice hotel in Turkey. It looked like so beautiful. It was like really like, it was just all modern. It had a beautiful pool. It had like a bridge that went over. I should have got a picture. Had a bridge that went over the pool, and it was just like amazing. I was so excited to go, and I was like, can't wait to get there. So I got there, and it was still exactly the same. It was midnight, got there really late. Then he took us to our room, and I was like, wow, I love it. It's just like the pictures, and I was so happy. Took us to our room, and it was awful. It was like so small. It was not modern. It was like the mirrors were all smashed open. The door didn't even shut properly, like the actual door to get out. It was like you couldn't shut it and you couldn't really open it. You had to like slam it to try and get it, and it still wouldn't close properly. So like people could have got in if they wanted to. And it was tiny. It was supposed to be like I think it was self-catering, and the kitchen was like literally about that much from the bed. And they'd like
ridiculous.
And they had badly, because
did they move you?
No, yeah, well, this is it, Chris. So when we got there, they were like, oh, this room isn't very nice, is it? And they said, so we'll show you another room. So they showed us another room, and it was amazing. It was so big, beautiful, had a balcony. They were like, that's going to be £100 a night. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So obviously and like a lot of the holiday goers were saying that they had to pay the money to have a nice time.
I'd
so it was like a scam.
To hear what Linsey has to say about that.
Yeah,
like if you
it was a complete con.
Like that, what do you do? What's the best way? So yeah, she can advise us on that.
Yeah, you could tell they were making a lot of money by putting people in this horrible little room at like midnight, and you're just tired. You've just you just got off your flight, and that's the way they were making money, because that room looked amazing. I really wanted it, but I was like, I'm not going to pay that much every night. So in the end, we complained, and they got us in another room, but it was a little bit bigger. But it ruined like 3 days of the holiday. That we were there for a week, and we were like in reception complaining every day. It was horrible. So, but in the end, we had a good time. Like we got moved to a nice room, and like we're lucky to enjoy it. So that was good. But you've got to be careful with holidays. It's not always what you expect, is it?
Yeah.
So I've got some unusual holidays for you, Chris. So I've got the top 4. In at number 4 is a Little People themed park. It's a make-believe town populated by little people called Dwarf Empire, and it's a hilltop park in China, almost entirely staffed by people under 4 foot tall. And the park has also gained worldwide coverage for employing many of the country's height challenged who have had a hard time finding work. So it's really good. So thanks to the park, many of the China's dwarfs are now employed as everything from cleaners to characters, princesses and princesses.
People just come and gawp at them?
They do everything. They work there as like cleaners, princesses, and like they've got.
Is it open to the public?
Yeah, it's open to the public. I don't really know if it's the type of thing where you go and like look at it as like a form of entertainment, but I think that it's good that they get them into work.
Weird if people do that just for them just to go and see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, because the thing is, like, they've got them jobs and they're paying and stuff and everything, and they're saying a lot of people who are that dwarfs are finding it hard to get work and everything. So if they're helping them out that way, it is quite good. But I don't know if they're trying to be sneaky and do a different angle to it.
That's what I was thinking, because there's some people just take advantage of them just to make money out of them.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
I suppose if they're getting paid as well.
Yeah, so we're not too sure. We're not sure on that one.
Anyone know? Give us a call on 020 7686 6300. Anyone over there? What that's about? No. Okay, I'm just looking at our guests over there. Okay.
So number 3 is a trip with real mermaids. So Wiki Wacky Springs sees living, breathing, bubble-blowing mermaids, and it's a theatre that allows the audience to walk in an underwater world without getting wet. And the mermaids perform choreographed routines and stories, and are sometimes joined by fish and turtles. So I thought that would be lovely for like families.
Oh, that would be lovely, yeah.
And I would love that. It looks amazing, doesn't it? So it's like, is it a bit like an aquarium? You just go in and you don't get wet or anything.
Yeah, probably.
But just a mermaid version.
Got sharks in the tank too.
No, they don't have sharks in there. No. That's not going to be nice. And then, so number 2, a holiday where you can swim with a different sort of animal, Chris. So if you're planning a trip to the Bahamas, forget the usual swimming with dolphins, head down to Pig Beach, which is the newest craze, to swim with pigs.
Sorry, I just got distracted by a tweet from, Layla?
I thought you did get distracted. Who's Layla?
Says someone, Layla, saying you're amazing. I love the sunflower dress that you got on.
What Layla? Oh, can we not say the surname?
You got a fan?
Oh, that's nice. I got two friends called Layla.
Layla Ashman?
Yeah, that's my friend.
Layla Ashman.
Hi, Layla. That's my friend.
She's watching you, and you are amazing, and I love the sunflower dress.
Hey, Layla. So yeah, what was I saying about?
Sorry, carry on.
So that pigs. So basically, if you don't want to swim with dolphins, because obviously, like a lot of people do that, I would really love to do that actually. But in the Bahamas, they've got this newest craze where you can swim with pigs instead. So pigs are really popular there, and they're like really friendly, family friendly. Would you not want to see that, Chris?
Not particularly, no.
It's different, isn't it? It's different.
Oh, it's certainly different.
So look, this is them there.
But they are cute. Look
they
at
are cute. Look at their big noses. It's cute, isn't it?
Oh,
look.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't you want to swim with that, Chris?
Well, maybe. I just probably would actually. It's cute.
It's quite unusual, isn't it? I wonder why they thought of it.
First and stuff. I don't have mud all over them. Yeah. So
I don't think you can't really get on their backs like you can with dolphins, can you? It's not as fun, is it? As that's a bit something different anyway.
Actually, I did always want to swim with dolphins, but then I was doing some research to see whether it's actually, if they have anywhere close by where you can do that. And it took me to this website, and it was talking about how cruel it is and what the dolphins go through. And it really kind of they kind of trick you into thinking that you're looking at where you can swim with dolphins. And then they give you all these facts, and it's actually horrible. It really put me off. I'm not going to do that.
What is they cruel
really
to the animals?
Yeah,
are they?
It's cruel, and the way they're enclosed, and they're just sad, and it's horrible. So.
Oh, that's not good then.
Sorry if I just slated all the holiday companies like dream things, but it's the fact.
Well, the pig thing might work then, because I think they're more free. Like they can just sort of go around.
Well, at least they can run out on the land as well.
And the final one, so number 1 is moon trips. It's a little bit pricey, this one, but it's nice. So Space Adventures provides the opportunity for you to blast off in a spacecraft, which is during the 7-day space flight, which reaches top speeds of 17,000 miles per hour, and you'll see stars, the illuminated moon, and the Earth from 250,000 miles away.
I'd be scared to do that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I won't do that.
You wouldn't do it, Chris?
No.
Oh, I'm not sure. But you might do a bungee or something like that, won't you? You'd skydive, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't go out.
That's a bit more, isn't it?
That's a little bit further.
That's a little bit further, isn't it?
You could skydive first, then do this moon trip, couldn't you?
I don't know about I think it's a bit of a jump between the. Yeah,
Not that much.
I don't think I would do it.
So you wouldn't jump
Not even for a challenge.
Yes.
Not even for a challenge.
So you
and that's
wouldn't
not a
have,
hint, by the way. I really wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it, so I shouldn't look into it.
No, please don't look into it.
Shouldn't look into it. So candidates must train for 4 months though beforehand. That's not very long, is it? And in Russia for it. So anyway, so 2 seats are available for shocking amount of money, $100 million each.
Gosh.
Not for 2 each.
I think that's past it. It's more than our budget here
it's
on
just
the show.
only a little bit more than what we could afford. Just only a little amount. We were almost there. And I've got some holiday nightmare stories as well. So Jamie Thomas from Manchester sent in a message saying that during a romantic holiday dinner in Jamaica, my girlfriend cut open her dessert to find an engagement ring. The only person more surprised than her was me. It wasn't mine. And he says,
oh no!
And he says they'd brought it to the wrong table. And the worst thing was that she was really clearly about to say yes, and he had to break the news that it wasn't for her. Yeah, and he says that was last summer, and she still hasn't seen the funny side to it. That's horrible, isn't it?
On both sides, I think that's really awkward, because she was obviously like, "Yay, he's proposed," and he hasn't. And then he knows now that she really wants to marry him, and maybe he wasn't ready for that step yet. So, oh God, I don't know, it's a bit.
It sort of like ruined the first proposal, because obviously it wasn't a proposal, but she thought it was.
Yeah.
That's horrible, isn't it?
Oh,
it's a shame. And so another story is from Paul Brooks from Bristol, who says, I once landed in Croatia during a thunderstorm and got off the plane, reached the passport control, and then realised I'd left my passport in front of me on the plane. So a member of staff had to run back to the plane in torrential rain to find it. Don't think she likes me very much. And what's funny about it, that happened to me, that not this passport thing, but like, why did you say that?
Cool.
Me thinking that. But when I went to Egypt with my friend a few years ago, I bought some really nice flip-flops in the airport, and they were quite pricey for my price range, and I was really looking forward to wearing them on the beach. So I got back from the plane, went to the hotel, and the next morning I went to go and put my flip-flops on, couldn't find them. But then as soon as I realised they were gone, I knew exactly where they were. Do you know when you lose something, then you know, I know where it is. And it was, I knew it was on the plane. So I was so determined, I got a taxi and I went all the way back to the airport.
Just for a pair
They were lovely. They had like these little diamond things on it, brown, like really nice. So I went, and my friend went with me. I'm shocked she wasn't she was okay with it. She wasn't annoyed at me, but I would be annoyed. So then she it was 45 minutes as well from the hotel all the way to the airport to get these flip-flops. I did get them back in the end.
Well, I'm glad you got them back in the end, but we have to go to a break now. Thank you so much. But if you have any interesting holiday stories to tell us, do give us a call on 020 7686 6300. You can also tweet here on Chrissy B Show or Facebook, The Chrissy B Show. So join us after this. Welcome back to our summer holiday show. Now, before we speak to our travel expert, Linsey McNeill, let's take a look at somewhere that you can go in this country that's very, very nice if you're lucky with the weather. So let's take a look. Now, this is definitely a place to visit. Look at the beautiful palace behind us. This was a former royal residence, and you're kind of expecting Aladdin to fly out on his magic carpet with his princess. Apparently, Barbara, the Royal Pavilion was built in 3 campaigns, and they started building it in 1787 as a seaside retreat for George, Prince of Wales. So it's like a holiday home. So we're only like an hour and 15 minutes away from London, and this is the sound that I love the most in the whole wide world, the sound of the crushing waves and like not a care in the world.
So
it's just lovely.
So relaxing, and it's just the best day to come down. It doesn't feel like England, doesn't it?
We keep saying that, don't we? So bad.
No.
England's nice.
England's nice.
As long as it feels like you're somewhere else.
We don't get out of London very often, so we're a bit like, we feel like we're in a different country, but really it's just the seaside, it's just wonderful.
There you go, good old Brighton if you can't afford to go away. But there are some other lovely places that Linsey's going to tell us about that aren't very expensive. So, hi Linsey.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the show again.
You're
You've been on before, haven't you,
have,
to give us some travel advice.
Yeah.
But do tell us, where are the sort of best places, the cheapest places to go to this time of year?
Well, I think when you're looking at the cost of a holiday, you need to think about everything, not just the package price or the cost of the flights and the hotel, but also how much spending money you need. So you need to sort of be looking at destinations where they've got a low cost of living. And the Post Office recently came out with a survey where they said that the best destinations in terms of price were Portugal was #1, followed by...
which is lovely, isn't it? I haven't been there, but I've got friends from there.
It is lovely, and the coastline there is really, really beautiful. So they were saying that offers some really good value in terms of eating out and drinking. It wouldn't cost you an absolute fortune to go there. And also they were saying that Cyprus was good value as well, which we were just saying that's actually
I was actually surprised because it's been really expensive there lately.
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to take these surveys with a pinch of salt and also talk to the tour operator, talk to the travel agent, look at price comparisons and sort of factor all that into your budget as well. But also Bulgaria came out as very good value, which is probably not surprising actually. I think those Eastern European destinations sometimes can offer really good value once you get there, and also the package prices tend to be quite good value as well to places like that.
Okay, and what about now, because we're obviously talking about things that maybe go wrong on holiday as well. What would you say are the essential things that you need to do or you need to know or you need to take with you on holiday to make sure, obviously things do happen and you can't sort of insure against, because there's accidents, there's all sorts of things happen, but at least what to do yourself to ensure that it can run as smoothly as possible?
Yeah, well, it's quite surprising actually, but tens of thousands of Britons end up either injured or being arrested abroad. I mean, that's a tiny percentage of the numbers that go on holiday, but still there are quite a few incidents, and so you just need to be...
It's actually must be quite scary to get arrested abroad, especially if you haven't done anything. So it's like...
Yeah, you have to bear in mind, to bear in mind when you're going to a foreign country, you're in a foreign country, you know, they have different laws, different rules and regulations, different health issues really. So one good thing is to look on the Foreign Office website, and they have country-specific advice. So if you're going somewhere you're not familiar with, you can check it out there. You can go online and see what sort of health precautions you need to take, and also check out the different customs and see what you need to be aware of, and what sort of thing that aren't illegal here that might be illegal in other countries.
Isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's a good idea.
It's something so innocent that you're doing over here could be really, really offensive, and even a crime in another country.
It could be a crime, it could be a criminal offence, and you could end up arrested.
Like kissing in public. Where was it that people got arrested?
It was in Dubai. I think they might have been doing more than kissing in public, but if you're sort of being a little bit too expressive, shall we say, a little bit too affectionate to your partner. If you're getting a bit carried away, well, don't get carried away in some of those countries, but do check out the Foreign Office website, and then make sure that you've got travel insurance, make sure that you've got any medication that you need to take it with you. You know, don't expect that you'll be able to buy the things that you can buy in the UK, don't think that you can buy them abroad, you know, just take it with you. And sunscreen, of course, buy that here before you go. Take mosquito repellent. And insurance, travel insurance though, is a key thing. I'd say don't leave home without that.
Some people do though, because they're thinking of the cost. They're thinking of, do I really need it? I've been on holiday so many times and nothing's ever happened. Why am I going to spend like an extra, sometimes £5 or whatever it is?
Yeah, well, that's the point. It really isn't very expensive, travel insurance. It doesn't have to be expensive. Look online, compare quotes, you know, and also if you're travelling within Europe and you've got a European health insurance card, which is free to get, and you have to renew them every 5 years, but you know, they're good for 5 years. That can lower the cost of your insurance if you're travelling within Europe, which most people do. So you don't have to spend a fortune, but you still need to have it. You know, something could go wrong, and actually it could cost thousands of pounds, you know, if you need medical treatment, if you need to be brought back home again, you know, if you need a special flight, then it can cost a lot of money. So just for peace of mind, it's worth spending that, I don't know, £5, £10, £20 for a holiday.
Say if someone's been naughty and they haven't got their travel insurance and something does occur on holiday or they get sick, what's the best thing they could do?
Yeah, well, if you're in Europe or any of the countries that are covered by the health insurance card, I think it's about 22 countries, then that will give you free or reduced medical treatment anyway in local hospitals. Yeah, and then also always travel with a credit card, because you'll need that to pay for your treatment, and then just worry about how you're going to pay that back when you get back home.
But at least you've got something.
Yeah, and it's quite shocking how sometimes the ambulance will come and say, how are you going to pay for this? Give us your credit card. So you do need to...
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Ambulance?
Yeah, even in France. I was skiing with somebody in France, and they dislocated their shoulder, and they wouldn't take them to hospital until they produced a credit card, and they didn't have one, so they had to call a relative back home and get them to give the details. Absolutely. They'd already walked 5 miles with a dislocated shoulder and finally got to somewhere where they could take them to hospital.
Awful, isn't it?
Yeah. It can seem quite shocking to us because we're used to the National Health Service here, and we're used to free medical treatment.
I think we're spoiled sometimes, you know.
We're just so lucky here. But I mean, you can get really fantastic medical treatment. I don't want to stop people going on holiday or scare them, but you just have to be prepared. So if you don't have insurance, then take your health insurance card. If you don't have that, then have a credit card.
And we're not saying like you should go on holiday and be afraid and be pessimistic about anything, but it's just to take precautions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just plan.
Yeah.
Often we just forget ourselves when we go on holiday. We're just kind of so excited about going away that we forget. We're so used to travelling now as well that we forget that we're going to a foreign country. We're going somewhere different, somewhere where they have different health risks.
And about the sun, do you know anything about sun protection factors and stuff like that? What's the best one to...
Yeah, well, if you don't know, then start with the highest factor and then work your way down, I'd say. I mean, doctors now say that you shouldn't start with anything less than factor 15.
Yeah.
So, and I would say buy it here, don't buy it abroad. Take it with you. Because, first of all, you can buy the brand that you're familiar with, because there's no international standard for skin protection factor. So an SPF here might be completely different to an SPF that you buy abroad.
I didn't know that, did you?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Also, don't just grab something from the bottle that's left in the bottle from like 3 or 4 years ago, because it does go off. It has a limited shelf life.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I've got a suntan lotion to throw away when I get home.
Yeah, I think we all have. I think it lasts for about 3 years, but you know, it's best just to...
Yeah, I think it's older than that. It was just sort of in the back of the cupboard somewhere.
Yeah, but if you've got some left, it's probably because you weren't using enough. Because apparently the reason why people burn is not because they're not using a high enough factor, because they're using it too meanly. You've got to actually put on... I think they say a shot glass for an adult is the right amount.
That's quite a lot.
It is quite a lot. Yeah, it's quite a lot. So you need to make sure you're really well covered with sunscreen.
All right, Liz, you're going to stay with us because we're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to be speaking to Anthony after the break about what happened to him when he went on holiday, and also to Jane Wrafter for her report too. So do join us after this, and if you want to share your story, you can give us a call on 020 7686 6300. Welcome back, and now I have with me Anthony Ghosh. You may remember him, or definitely remember him from Britain's Got Talent.
Anthony Ghosh, DJ Talent. It's nice to be in the studio, guys. Chrissy, it's nice to be here. How are you keeping?
Thank you so much. I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's great to be here.
And we've also got Jane next to you.
Hi,
Jane Wrafter.
Chrissy.
Hello.
Hi.
So tell us, how was that experience before we get into your holiday story?
The Britain's Got Talent experience was great fun. 2009, I got to the semi-final.
Yeah.
I went on tour with Susan Boyle and Diversity.
What was that like?
It was amazing. We played in lots of big venues. I played in Wembley Arena. Did Radio 1.
Talking about Wembley Arena, by the way, I'm going to be hosting an event there on the 22nd of September called Love School, and it's going to be really good, but we're going to give you more details about that. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Okay, so Radio 1. I did a lot of TV shows as well, like this morning and GMTV at the time, you know.
Okay. So when did your travel... I wouldn't say disaster, but it could have been a disaster, couldn't it? Was that after the show or before the show?
My travel disaster was before the show, before I got to the live rounds. Basically, in January 2009, I got through on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
I got 4 yeses from the judges, Simon, Pierce, Amanda and Kelly.
Yeah.
And then I went backpacking around the world. I went to Thailand.
In between then? So,
so I did my performance, got through, and then...
Then you went backpacking?
Yeah, but before the live rounds.
It's quite a gap then between.
So it was a good 4 months.
Oh, I didn't know that. It just seems so quick when we used to watch it on TV.
Yeah. So it's kind of pre-recorded. You get through, and then you go to the live rounds, and then you face.
So you took a break then. You needed a break after all that pressure.
All that pressure and stress. So I kind of took 4 months out, you know.
Yeah.
And then so I started my travels in 2009 January. I went to Thailand. I went to Bangkok. I went to Phuket, and it was really nice. And then I do like Australia, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't live there. There's too many snakes and spiders out there. Too many things in Australia that can kill you. Be careful of the poisonous jellyfish and the great white sharks in the sea.
But it wasn't a shark attack, and it wasn't a jellyfish, was it?
It wasn't a shark attack that almost killed me. It was a mosquito bite.
Gosh.
I went to Cairns in Australia, and it was very tropical. There's lots of saltwater crocodiles. All it seemed to do in Cairns was rain all the time, so I got a mosquito bite.
Which everyone normally gets when they go on holiday, right? It's a normal.
Yeah.
Normal
So then I went to Brisbane, and then when I got to Brisbane, I peeled off the kind of blistered my foot, you know, and my leg just swollen up like a balloon. So I took myself in to see a doctor.
Was it painful? Really painful?
Very, very painful. I felt really, really faint and dizzy and lightheaded and sick. I was on the opposite side of the world, and there was no one around.
That's the thing, because you went all on your own.
I went all on my own backpacking, and I took myself to see a doctor, and then the doctor said to me, "Okay, you'll be okay." Then the next day, I was in a supermarket, and I said, "Call an ambulance. I'm going to faint. I'm going to pass out. I'm going to die out here. You know, I'm on the world. I'm in the world on my own. I need to go to hospital and get treated."
Yeah.
So basically, travel insurance is a must when you go on holiday, because at the end of the day, you might need to pay for your treatment, or you might need to be covered. So it's very important and essential to take out travel insurance. So I was rushed to hospital, and I was in hospital overnight, and I took myself into a nice 5-star hotel for 5 days, but I was just so ill and washed out. I phoned my mum and I was crying. I was really upset. I said, "Am I going to be alive, or am I going to die? You know, what's going to happen? I'm on the opposite side of the world. Do I come back to the UK, or do I carry on my trip?" So basically, I just carried on my trip.
Did you? You're so brave. I think I would have run home after that.
But stayed in a hospital stayed in a hotel for 5 days, recovered. Just took it easy, rest, drank lots of fluids.
Yeah. But what did they say it was that actually happened to your leg?
They said it was a mosquito bite that got infected.
Oh, it got infected.
And they said to me, if I didn't come to hospital and didn't get it treated, I could have died. Cellulitis. Cellulitis is a very serious illness. Cellulitis can kill you, you know.
See, I hadn't heard of that. I'd never heard of that before you.
What it is, it's just like a cut in the foot or a bite, you know, that gets infected, makes the leg swell up. So it's a lot of fluids in your leg, and your leg swells up.
You can't take chances, you know. If you get bitten, even over here, if you get bitten, just go straight. And you swell and you start to feel sick. You should just go to the hospital. At
the end of the day, we got a good NHS system out here. If you're in an emergency, don't be scared to call 999 because it can save your life. You know.
Yeah. Jane, you had something similar, didn't you? Something happened to you.
I've actually had cellulitis, not on holiday, but it came up over a bank holiday weekend. People get it confused with cellulite.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Which is a different thing, but it's all about the skin tissue. It's not an infection on the surface of your skin. It's an infection in the tissue. Underneath. So you can't see anything nasty, it just goes big and red and swollen, and you feel really poorly. And I was in hospital for 5 days with it. I just had a very small graze here, and it just got infected. It's just bad luck.
Gosh,
you know, you can't really avoid it necessarily, because you can get it through a tiny little scratch, but we both had intravenous antibiotics
which saved our lives. If we didn't have the intravenous antibiotics, we could have died, you know. It could have killed us. So that saved our lives, the intravenous antibiotics. Always when you're abroad, or always, like, if you're very seriously ill, always get medical attention, see doctors, take
and you have to insist as well, even if someone says, "Oh, you're okay, go home." If you don't feel well, you need to put your foot down and say, "Look, I'm not well, I need treatment."
If you bang your head, if you cut your foot, just go straight to hospital and make sure that you get the all clear, because you might need some antibiotics. Those antibiotics can protect your health and your safety, you know. So you
got through that, obviously, and then you went back on the live.
I went to New Zealand, and I did a bungee jump. I did the third biggest bungee jump in the world.
When you're traumatised enough from
it was pretty nuts and crazy, but it was good fun. I thought, if the bungee jump goes wrong, I'm not going to be on Britain's Got Talent. So, touch wood. After my disaster abroad, I went on Britain's Got Talent and got through.
And how was that for you? How was that experience? Brief. I know it's got nothing to do with the show, but I want to hear about it. Okay, sorry. Go on.
It was crazy. 2009. I reached the semi-finals of Britain's Got Talent. As you know, I was wearing a gold suit. I had a really gold blinging suit and an outfit. Pole dancers and dancers on the stage. And it was just amazing to perform to 16 million people is a big thing, you know. But it was good to get my music out there and stuff. And also my website, Talent Recordings, djtalentrecordings.com. So it's good, you know.
Wow. So I'm so glad you lived to experience all of that.
Yeah, no, it was.
What are your future plans?
My future plans, I want to kind of do some more TV, I want to work on some more tracks and do a bit more travelling. So obviously...
With the travel insurance?
With the travel insurance, definitely. But also what I found when I was in Australia, I got huge bills. I come back with huge bills from abroad.
Really?
I got fit when I took myself into Brisbane Hospital. I got a £1,500 bill from the insurance company, but they paid it in the end. They paid it in the end, but obviously they said the hospital.
Is that normal? Is that usual to get?
The hospital sent me a bill saying £1,500 that had to be paid. So
did you have to pay it first though, and then?
No, the insurance company paid for it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it depends on which insurance you've got. Sometimes you have to pay it and then claim it back when you get back home, and sometimes they'll just send the bill directly to the insurers. So you just have to check your policy to see which it is. But always before you have treatment, you need to check with your insurance company that you're covered. Obviously, if it's an emergency, you can't. As you say, you've just got to go and get treated. But before you accept any treatment, you should, if it's discretionary, if you absolutely don't need it, then you should check with the insurance company to see whether they're going to pay for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you can, and just keep them in the loop. Sometimes they'll arrange everything for you, and particularly if you need to be brought back home, they'll arrange all of that.
So, and I always think it's good to go with fully comp insurance, you know, so it protects your valuables, your documents, your passports, your tickets, and mobile phones.
Especially if you're going to go backpacking for 3 months.
Of course.
And you do need to make sure you're covered for the whole of your trip. You can't think, oh, I'll only need insurance for this bit, because then you won't be covered. You have to be covered from the moment you leave the UK until you come home. But you don't need to over-insure. If you've already got house insurance that covers your valuables, if you've already got private medical insurance, you might not need all of that cover. So you can actually reduce the cost by seeing what you've already got.
And then just make sure you're covered, isn't it, for what you need, basically, the necessities, isn't it?
And you know, you were talking about bungee jumping. You need to make sure that everything you plan to do on your holiday or on your backpacking trip is covered by the insurance, because things like bungee jumping is considered dangerous. Not all insurance policies will cover you. So if you think you're going to do something like that, or whitewater rafting, or hot air ballooning, make sure you're covered first.
I certainly won't be doing any more bungee jumps again.
You've got your future to think about. And Jane, now as well, just quickly before we go to the break, how about nutrition when you go on a holiday? Because a big thing is that people just overeat and stuff and end up feeling really sick.
I think the interesting thing is that for summer holidays especially, you're usually doing a lot less in terms of activity than you would normally be doing. So even if you ate the same as your normal diet at home, you'd probably put a bit of weight on. But what we actually do is eat more. So we do less, we just lie still, we're very inactive usually. I mean, it depends on your holiday, but usually you do less and you end up eating more. So the average woman on a summer holiday gains 4 pounds, which is so easy to put on and then tricky to get off afterwards. So you can avoid it if you're smart and you think about your choices. So for example, if you're having an evening dinner, try not to get the food with the creamy sauces, because they've got loads of calories in. If you're having a cocktail, don't choose a creamy cocktail. Pina colada is really, really fattening. It's got cream in.
Really
you know,
delicious.
pick the vodka, fruity, and don't have too many. But you know, if you're going to have one, be smart. And if you're having something like fish, instead of ordering chips, order a green salad and a tomato salad, and you'll probably find that it'll be enough.
I actually prefer that as well, like, especially when it's really hot and it's just more refreshing, isn't it? You're already hot and sweaty, you know, and then to go and be having all this cream and like stodgy food, you just feel so uncomfortable. Yeah,
and you know, if you're having that every day, if you're having that on a daily basis, then you will gain 4 pounds. It's inevitable that you will. And maybe for lunch, instead of having a big lunch, if you've had breakfast, have salad and fruit. And then you'll be hungry by the time it's the evening meal, and of course drink lots of water, because if you get dehydrated during the day and then you hit the bar and you knock back a few drinks, you know, it will really go to your head.
Definitely.
More than normal.
And everywhere. All right, but Jane, you're dressed in your exercise gear. She doesn't dress like all the time, just when she's going to do something.
Most of the time I am.
You are, because it's your work, but you're going to be showing us some exercise, a few exercises to do while abroad, and also even before, right? So you're going to be helping our viewers tonight. So thank you very much, DJ Talent.
Thanks very much. And also follow me on Twitter at I Say Britain. And great to be a guest on the show today, Chrissy.
It's
Thank you
lovely
very
having
much.
you. And thanks
Say
very much,
big hi to
Linsey,
Phil
as
and Nico as well.
Oh, someone was, yeah, Nico, yeah. I've got
Nico
some
and Phil,
tweets here from Nico.
hi guys. I'm pleased you're enjoying the show. Thanks, Chrissy, for a great day. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks,
Best wishes to you,
Linsey.
Tammy.
Thanks a lot, Linsey. And Jane, you're going to stay with me because you're going to tell us a story as well. Anyway, quick break and then we're back with Jane. Okay, welcome back, and I'm here with Jane now, and we're going to do a beach workout, aren't we? That's why we haven't got any shoes or socks on, because we can do these without our trainers and stuff.
That's right.
But first of all, you had a holiday story to tell us first of all, didn't you?
I did. I was talking about this funny holiday story, and basically a friend of mine went on holiday and they rented a private villa. So there was no one else there. They had their own pool. They weren't overlooked or anything. So one day she got her iPod on and she went to sunbathe completely naked, face down on a sun lounger. So she was lying there and there were some mosquitoes and things flying around and they kept landing on her bum. So occasionally she would slap her bum. And then she looked up and there was a man cleaning the pool.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how embarrassing.
She didn't know he was there. She was completely naked, smacking.
Oh gosh, that must have been look really weird.
It's really funny. So I think, you know,
make sure you're alone before you sunbathe. With no clothes on, people. But they're private villa. No one should have been there.
They should have let her know he was employed to clean the pool on a daily basis, and she didn't realise. You see.
No, embarrassing the poor thing. All right, let's move swiftly on to our workout. Right. So why did you choose this particular workout?
So what I want to show you today has been inspired by a couple of things. One person that inspired me is Angie Newson, and she's the other ambassador at our local Sweaty Betty store in Muswell Hill.
Is that the clothes that you're...
Yes, Sweaty Betty, lovely fitness clothes for women. And we did a workshop recently, and Angie, when she's on holiday, does workouts on a sun lounger, and she actually does it. So she's working her core and her legs while she's sunbathing.
Really? Is that possible?
Absolutely. I'll show it to you. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Because you know, we just lay there, don't you? Normally fall asleep, and you might as well do something that actually works.
You can really get deep into the muscles just lying down. So I'll show you some of the things that we did there. And also I've been to a few ballet tone classes recently, which are just small control movements that again you can do lying down. So I've got a few things that I can show you. They're really effective. Okay, so
I didn't have time to change into my exercise gear.
No, but you're taking your
I've taken my heels off. Yeah. Okay.
You can do it with your heels on. So if we start lying down.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, the first thing you could do is simply just engage your core. So if you take a deep breath, imagine you're lying in the sun, and then just press your belly button down and sink your lower back into the floor. So you should feel your pelvis tilt a little bit, and that is targeting your deep lower tummy muscles. So I mean, even if you just do this is a good exercise. Okay.
With your head up or down?
Well, I've got my head up to check that you're doing it right, but you can do it with your head down for now. And if you wanted to work your arms, I'm just going to come up here out of your way, Chrissy. If you just float your arms like this off the floor, with your elbows off the floor, and just hold them like that, with a bit of softness, that's it. If you hold them like that, that is going to work your shoulders eventually, just holding them there.
Like this?
Yeah, so
someone might think we're asking for a hug.
I know, you might get lucky, you never know. But you know, I mean, for now, maybe I'll keep your arms down, but if you bear in mind, if you do all these exercises with your arms up like this, it will work your shoulders. So engage your tummy and pull down through your lower back. That's it. Can you feel your tummy muscles are switched on? Now start to tighten your thighs. So pull your kneecaps up your thighs. So if I poke you here, yes, that's it. It's nice and hard. Yeah. So try and keep that sense of connection with your thighs and with your abdominals, and take a nice deep breath in, and lift your right leg up. Keep it really straight. That thigh should be nice and straight, and then flex your foot and drop it down almost to the floor, but not quite.
Feel that.
And breathe in and lift. Flex, exhale and lower.
Imagine everyone on the beach doing this.
Flex, exhale. Do you know, people will probably look at you once or twice and then they just think, oh, she's doing her exercises, and walk past you.
There goes a crazy lady.
Not take much notice. So you've got to remember to hold your belly button down, that's it. And keep your lower back on the floor. Okay, we'll just do one more. And then we're going to change this to bring the knee in.
You can really feel this.
You can really feel it, can't you? Now, when you press away, tighten your thighs if you're pushing your heel up against a wall, and then pull it in, and push away. So 2 things happen. You tighten your thigh and you press down through the belly. Can you feel this work in your thigh?
I can really feel this.
Yeah. It's really good, isn't it?
It's like you're pushing against weights.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's just do another couple like this. Are you breathing still?
I think so. I am now.
Okay, hold your leg out. Keep it really, really straight. And turn your foot and your whole leg to one side and then turn it back. Can you feel that? Turn it to the side, turn it back. Now, I've been kind to you because I've only given you a few.
This is really good. I'm really surprised.
It's really good. If you did more repetitions of this, say you did this a couple of times, 3 times a day.
It's really hurting.
It really gets the whole of the leg, doesn't it?
How many reps should you do?
Well, you see, it's like saying how long's a piece of string. It depends how strong you are. Have a little rest. I would start with 10 of each.
Painful.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? Now, obviously you would do the other leg.
Yeah.
But I want to show you some other things.
Okay, we've got about 3 minutes, I think, left.
Okay, so shall I show you some other things instead?
Sure.
So lie on your side, face the same way as me, Chrissy.
I've ruined my hair now. My hair's sticking up.
No,
Never mind.
No,
Right,
it's
okay.
fine. I would tell you.
Oh, this top's really not good for doing exercise.
No, we've got all our gear in our way.
Okay.
So lie all the way down. So imagine you're lying on your side.
It's not stretchy. Okay.
You're going to rip.
I'm fine.
Don't rip. Imagine you're reading your favourite novel. You're lying on your side, and you would normally probably just lie like this, wouldn't you? So I want you to extend your legs out, and again, tighten your thighs and float your feet off the floor. Now, if you just lie like this is working your tummy muscles. So I'm just going to roll over and have a look. See if you can put a little space underneath your rib cage there and hold onto that. Can you feel the difference there?
I can feel it here.
So if you can feel it here, swing your feet forward a little bit and pull in a bit more here, and then it will go into you.
I can
Got
feel
it?
it. Yeah,
so it's
got
gone
it.
from you. Yeah, so that's a good point actually. You shouldn't feel it here. So swing your feet forwards like that. So if you just hold this and tighten your thighs, no one would notice this really, would they? I don't think they would.
Just be floating.
Are you tight here in the thighs? There's lots of things you can do here. You can lift your leg, flex and lower. Now what we're working here is the outer thigh here, inner thigh on the bottom leg. So you lift with a point, down with a flex. Keep the thigh really tight, keep the tummy in. You could do this, you could do as many reps as you can manage. Keep the shoulders down the back. For now, we'll do one more, but I would do more than that. I would try and do a few more.
You can really feel it.
Yes. Now come up like this, Chrissy, on your forearm. And then put your foot, on your bottom leg like that. Put this hand on the floor. And then roll back a bit onto your bum. That's it. Now, we're going to lift this leg up and down, and at the same time press down with that foot. And it's getting the problem area.
You don't need 10 kilos or 20 kilos
We're
in the
using
gym
our
to do
own,
this. You just use your
using
own
our own legs. Can you feel that?
That's so cool.
It's really good, isn't it?
It's so clever.
It's good, isn't it? I got this one from one of my teachers, the fabulous Jo Gledhill, who teaches ballet tone.
Yeah. Wow.
And I really like this exercise.
It's
really good. And a lot of women say to me, how can I tone up my inner thighs?
This is excellent.
This is
I can
how
really feel
you
that.
can really feel that.
See, no excuse to be laying. Is this my camera? Which is my camera? No excuse to be laying on the beach doing nothing. You shouldn't be falling asleep. You should be doing your exercises so you don't put on those 4 pounds that most women normally put on. Jane, thank you so much. That was really good fun. And I'm definitely
pleasure.
you can do those at home in bed as well, I suppose.
Yeah, you can.
So,
you can do them in your apartment, anywhere. Yeah, and there's lots more, but we've run out of time.
Oh, never mind. Next time you come, you can show us some more. Okay, so that's it for the Chrissy B Show for today, and do join us again on Friday.
Yeah,
Is it Wednesday today? Yes, it's Wednesday today, so do join us again on Friday. I can't remember the show, I'm afraid, because I don't have my earpiece in because we're doing exercises. So we'll see you again then. If you want more information about the show, chrissybshow.tv. Bye-bye for now. Do you remember how things used to be, babe? So corny.
What do you want me to do? Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, testing. Can you hear me, Sam? Yeah, he can.